Oh, this thing is so cute. Let me just buy it. Restrain yourself. One of the best things I did this year was to freeze my bank account. I'll explain why. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Candy, and if you're new here, welcome to my channel. In this channel, we share tips, tricks about beauty and business, as it were. So in today's video, we shall be talking about how to save money in 2024. Yes, the year is far gone, but you still have a chance to meet your financial goals. And I just really wanted to share the tips I've been using that have been working for me, and hopefully they can work for you as well. Now, my very first tip is that you should pray. Pray against the spirit of spending your money lavishly and uselessly, because that is the spirit that just wastes all your efforts. You can save all the money in this world, but if you don't have great spending habits, that money is just going to be useless. So pray against the spirit of bad spending and pray for discipline to keep all the tips I'm going to be sharing with you guys. So however short that prayer is, however mundane you think it is, invite God and pray, and I'm pretty sure that he will guide you on how to spend your money. Just pray against bad decision making. Now, my other point is you should track your expenses. How do you track your expenses? For me, what I used to do and what I still do now is to write down all my expenses. Before now, I didn't used to know. You know how you just be spending. Once your money comes, you just go to the market and buy stuff, and when the money finishes, it finishes, and you're waiting for your next paycheck. So the thing I did, this was way back when, like even before I went to university, I used to write down every single thing I spent. And I learned that from my dad. I think I found one of his notes somewhere where he wrote everything he spent his money on. So I did that as well. I would write every single thing. I would write cold drinks that I bought. I would write if I went to see the movies. I'd write my toiletries, my groceries, whatever it is that I spent money on. If I paid a bus fare, whatever it is, I would write it in that book. Why? Because I was trying to get a view of every single thing I spent or bought in that month. And when I did this, I think one of my friends found out that I did that, and she laughed. She was like, "And why do you have to write that the drink is cold?" I guess I didn't have to write that, but I wrote that so that it would jog my memory when I'm thinking, when did I buy Coke? I would remember, oh, that day you needed a cold drink and you bought cold Coke. So I guess that's the best reference to describe it. But on a more serious note, tracking and writing down your expenses helps you to know exactly how much you spent, on what you spent it, and at what particular time. I like to do this on a monthly basis so that it will help me to know on average how much I can put toward my expenses. After tracking your expenses, my next point is to create a budget. You understand? Create a budget that covers your daily expenses, your needs, your wants, your savings, your investments, and whatnot. This is my format. I actually wrote it down because I didn't want to forget any point. My format is, when I get my salary, right, it's 100% of the full amount. So I divide it into like different percentages. My 10% goes to my tithe, right? 5% goes to any extra giving I would want to do. So giving and generosity, 5%. I can add as I see fit, but my standard amount is 5%. So that's 15% out of the way. 35% goes to my needs. Now these needs cover rent, utilities, toiletries, food, bills, whatever it is that is my need, is covered under 35%. Now for 40% is where my savings goes. I actually split my savings as well. I don't just save everything in one account. I have different accounts, and I split my savings into different accounts for different reasons. So I don't just save for one goal and in one well, and anytime I need money I just reach out for it. No, I have different saving channels, and yeah, that's how I split my savings. So basically that 40% is split into different accounts with different goals. That's the easiest way I can explain that. The other 10% that is left now is for me. These are my wants, right? So if I want to buy clothes, if I want to buy new wigs, entertainment, travel, whatever it is, extra expenses that I know are not, necessities. They are necessary, but they are not, necessary. They are like wants. So I put 10% towards that. I don't just go 1 month and pack all the money and go shopping. So I do it in such a way that when I save 10% each month, when it gets to a certain amount, like I have all my needs, I have everything I want to buy. Everybody has a list where they saved and screenshot and whatever it is that they want. So what I do is when my 10% that I'm contributing every month gets to a certain amount, I would look at my list of wants. What can this amount cover? And I'll pick out 1 or 2 items I can purchase and tick them off my list. That's how I buy stuff without going bankrupt. Now you might ask me, 35% of my salary doesn't cover my total rent for the year. Yes, it's the same as my 10% that I contribute. That 35%, like I said, is divided into groceries, rent, and other things, which means it's little bits here and there that make up the full amount. So how do I know how much to contribute each month to make up my rent for the next year, right? So what I do is my total rent for the year, let's assume that my rent for the year is, let's use 120,000, right? That's the easiest way because it's 12 months. So let's use 120,000. If my rent is 120,000, if I divide 120k by 12 months, it will give me 10,000 naira per month. So I hope you're getting the picture. Every month I would have to contribute at least 10,000 towards my rent. If I'm looking to upgrade my accommodation next year and I don't want to live in this house anymore and I know that it will cost me more, I can contribute more than 10k. But the least I should contribute so that I will have a roof over my head, whatever the circumstances, is 10k. So every month I put 10k towards my rent. The same thing for groceries, the same thing for what do they call it, whatever else it is. Like if I want to get something, I just gather the whole amount and divide it into 12 for the year, and then I contribute little amounts, and at the end of the year I'll be able to achieve certain goals. Now this is another crucial point. You need to cut down spending. For me, I know that that's what I'm doing, right? I cut down my spending, and that brings me to the point where I said freezing my account was the best thing I did. Now that account is at my disposal, right? I have the app, I have a card for the account, I have a code that I can quickly dial and just get funds from the account. And I realized that having that just made me to have too much access to this money. And sometimes it's not a need, sometimes it's just a want. You understand? So freezing it just gives me this, even if I'm impulsive enough to go and say I want to buy something, at the point of payment, they are going to declare my card, or the application is going to tell me I can't do it. You understand? I have to go to the bank and fill a form for that account to be unfrozen. The hassle alone, thinking about going to line up in the bank to get them to do something for me that will just allow me to pinch something from that account, is already exhausting. So I decided to freeze my account because it just helps me to control myself better. So what you can do is, if you're not able to hold yourself, if you're not able to cut down your spending, then you should put a leash on yourself. Either you freeze your account like me, or you do target savings, or you do those kind of long-term savings where if you withdraw from this account, you're going to lose your interest, or you'll be charged a penalty for withdrawing, for not restraining yourself. That's going to help you out a lot. And unless it's an emergency, I won't touch that account. That was the commitment I made. So as I said, I spread my money into different accounts, right? And the account where I spend, like I want to have access to, I leave it and I call it my expense account. I leave all the money that I need for like urgent stuff, groceries, if I need to pay utilities, bills, and all of that. That account is always there. But that other one that I'm using for savings, like you can't even borrow somebody money even if you want to. Why? Because it's frozen. You have to go to the bank. You understand? Like, it's top-notch discipline. It helps you out if you can't help yourself out, right? Now, under this cutting spending, you should try to cancel subscriptions that you don't need. If you are subscribed to like 10 apps, like what do they call it, editing apps, you should find like 2 that are most important and keep them, and then cancel the subscriptions on the other 8. It will save you money. If you're paying money to buy lives on games, please and please, life is way more serious than that. Go and cancel some of these subscriptions, right? And then you need to cut down on bad habits, because those bad habits you are spending money on, they're not benefiting you in any way, and you're not going to meet your financial goals. So if you know you're an avid drinker or an avid smoker, you need to cut down on these things. They are bad for your health anyway. If you must spend something on yourself, spend it on fruits. Thank you. Under these cutting expenses, you can curb lavish entertainment. Like, entertainment is good, going to see a movie, going to the zoo and all of that. But if you are someone that clubs, except if you work in a club, but you don't work in a club, me and you are both struggling in this economy, and you want to go to the club every single weekend, and when you go, you already have money, you're going to spray, you buy the most expensive bottle of wine, you're just doing too much. You need to try and curb this kind of spending and reduce the amount of times that you club. You might like it, but can you make it twice a month? Can you make it once a month? Can you make it never, or always special occasions? Just try to find where you can get extra money back for yourself. And then you can trim your monthly expenses. Yes, there are some things that are necessary, but if for instance you are used to doing 10,000 naira for data per month, can you cut it down to a subscription plan that is like 6,000 naira? You can save 4k that way. Or you can do the type where it's like maybe daily a certain amount, and you just cut the amount of times you're on social media, especially if you're not making money on social media. So why are you spending that much money there? Do you understand? So just try your best to curb that kind of spending. You can leave stuff like bills, those ones are very important, but anywhere you can see how to cut down, cut down. A very, very important point is to pay your debts quickly. Pay your debts quickly. What does this do for you? It reduces high interest rates, it reduces the burden on you, and it also builds trust. Whoever it is that you lend money from, if they find out that this person pays their loans on time, the person will be inclined to loan you next time you are in need. But if you're a person that people have to chase, when you were borrowing, you were very meek, you were very humble, when it was now time to pay, you now start speaking English, you are now trying to make it look like the person is begging for their money. Nobody will ever borrow you anything again. You will have to look for other channels to borrow from, right? And if you have the option, if you want to borrow a very large amount and your income can't cover that amount in a month, you don't have to go bankrupt. Always try to find opportunities to pay in installments and take these opportunities. Like I said, paying for things in bits is going to pain you, but it won't pain you as much as when you are paying the huge, large amount, right? So if you have like a 200k debt, you can take an option to pay it 2 to 3 times. You can pay 100k here, 100k there, or you can pay, let's say, 70k, 70 and 60. Just try your best to find easier options of paying. As long as you and your lender have an understanding, it's good. Now, my last point for this video also goes with the first point, where I said you should pray for discipline. And this is where discipline comes in. You need to discipline yourself and be very, very firm. Be firm and follow your own, your own budget, follow your own track and follow your expenses. If you write something and you decide that this is what you want to do, be firm and try to follow it. Try to discipline yourself, try to practice restraint. If you're this kind of person that cannot hold yourself, oh, this thing is so cute, let me just buy it. Restrain yourself. That's why that frozen account will be good for someone like you, because no matter how cute it is, if they decline your card, your sense will come back and you'll be like, I remember why I froze my account in the first place. One other thing you can do is to ensure that you follow these rules that you've set for yourself. Follow all these tips at least 80 to 99% of the time. Yes, we're not perfect. Some months you might say you want to save 50k, but something came up and you couldn't make it up to 50. Try your best to save at least 30, save at least 40. Why? Because you saved something, you did something. It's better than canceling your savings for the entire month. Well, I took 5k out of my savings, let me just squander the rest. That's not good. At least your savings will still be good next month if you save something. And what you can do is, don't just be stuck in one way of doing things. Yes, I might be talking about this thing today, and tomorrow I'll wake up and find a better way to save my money. You understand? So always try to review your savings plan, review your budget, review everything to make sure that you are on track, and to make sure that to make any adjustments if there is any need. And if you don't meet your financial goals after practicing tip 1 to tip number 6, you might want to try increasing your income. I'll be talking about that in another video. And if you would have any particular questions that you'd want me to address about increasing your income, please drop them down in the comment section below. And if you have any comments as well, if you have any tips that you use that work for you, please drop them in the comment section below, because we want to try and meet some financial goals by the end of this year. So please drop them down so we can also learn from you. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate. I'm always willing to share all the information that I know, so please don't hesitate to drop them down below. And if this video helped you even just a teensy bit, please give us a thumbs up to this video and ensure to share this video so that other people can learn. I know that you want to be a very rich person, but what's better than one rich person? A lot of rich people. Your circle being elevated because of you is a good thing. So please share this to your friends, share this to your family, and any other person you feel like can benefit from this video. And if you like content like this and occasional beauty videos, please click the subscribe button, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.